Streaming live. We are continuing the reading of Elsie Lincoln Benedict's book, How to Get Anything You Want. Ding. All right, this is video number 37. This is turning into some epic playlist for the ages, but I'm taking my time. I'm having fun with it. I hope you're all enjoying this. It's great feedback, so I'm so grateful. And I'm learning as I go. I do this selfishly because I love to learn and I love her metaphors. So we are continuing lesson 3, know what you want most. What do you want most? What is your burning desire? If you missed any of the previous recordings, it is on my playlist on YouTube. So if you're watching on Facebook, be sure to hop over to YouTube, like and subscribe. I'm getting my hours up. I'm almost to my ultimate goal of 4,000 watch hours within 12 months. So I think we have about 800 to go. Hopefully I wake up tomorrow and there's only like 700 to go because it's picking up here. I'm really liking what's happening. All right, we left off yesterday with Elsie Lincoln Benedict talking about the different rules to follow. So she said, you will meet difficulties, of course, and would deserve no success otherwise if you didn't run into any trial, right? Because if you don't run into any like difficulties, or not that it has to be painful or dramatic, right? But like as you grow and get uncomfortable, things are gonna be, things aren't gonna go so smooth. You're gonna hit bumps in the road, right? We're human. That's just life. But she's saying you'll meet with difficulties, but they are never as appalling when you come face to face with them as you supposed in advance. So it's never as bad as you imagine it is, nor half so overwhelming as the onlookers might imagine. The following the following specific suggestion will help you organize and crystallize your wants. Rule number 1. Tonight, when you're alone, take a pen and a paper and begin to write down your strongest desires. We talked about this yesterday. Did you do it? Did you take the pen and paper and write down your strongest desires? Let your mind play around. Just write everything that you would love to have in your life. Be, do, and have. Just allow yourself to do that. So often, I guarantee if you have not taken a pen and a paper and allowed yourself just to sit there for like a good 10 minutes and just write your heart's desires, it's, we're doing ourselves a disservice if we don't even allow ourselves to do that. But even if you sit there and do it, you'll notice like the thoughts that come in, like the negative thoughts or the limiting thoughts, like this is silly, this is stupid, and how we hold ourselves back from even admitting to ourselves what we truly want. So write it down, be definite, and just allow things to come up that cross your mind. It doesn't have to be like, it's not set in stone. Just allow yourself to write what comes to your mind, right? Rule number 2, put down all of your deepest desires, regardless of whether you ever expect them to materialize, and no matter how unattainable, silly, or ridiculous they look on paper. Exactly what I just said. Really allow yourself to just have a session to write down the most bodacious, gnarly, crazy, out of this world, I'll never do that, but I would love to do that type of goal. She says, rule number 2, put down all of your deepest desires, regardless of whether you ever expect them to come to life or not, and no matter how unattainable, silly, or ridiculous they look on paper. Just have fun with it. Okay? All right. If you have magnificent, marvelous ambitions, aspirations, aims, and ideals, so much the better. Do not permit this to overcome you. Above all, do not take the attitude, oh, well, I'll do it, but nothing will ever come of it. Like, I'll write this list, but that's silly, that's stupid. Just because I write it down. Come on, be realistic. Don't have that attitude, she says. Rule number 3, tell no one whatever about your list. Don't go sharing it with anybody, even your partner. Don't even share it with your spouse, okay? Unless your spouse is into this and you guys do it together, that's great. Beautiful mastermind there. But oftentimes, if you find yourself not in a position of life that you desire, you're probably not surrounded with people who do these things either, because life would be very different. So don't share it with anybody. Keep it private. Rule number 4, do not be disturbed by the fact, which will probably be apparent in a day or two, that some of the things on your list are quite new to you, things that you have never been conscious of wanting. So again, we talked about this yesterday. When you allow yourself to sit down and really start thinking and allowing yourself to admit to yourself what you want, you might be shocked. It might be scary. It might be like, well, I can't do this because then my life is going to change and I might lose some people. I might have to move. I might have to quit. I might have to fill in the blank. I might actually have to be accountable for myself. I might actually have to get up early in the morning, right? Whatever it is. So don't be disturbed if that comes up. When this stage is reached, you have begun to get down to some of the real secrets of your subconscious, to the things you have been wanting very much, but for some reason would not admit to yourself. Some of these will be selfish, some unselfish, some primitive, some very spiritual and beautiful. We will have a weeding out party when the time comes, but just for now, don't deny a single big desire that wants to write itself down. That would not annihilate the desire. It would only push it out of sight and behind you, from which place it would come to push you without showing their hand. That's funny. So don't F around and try to suppress desires that want to come up. Maybe they'll never happen, but just admit, like, wow, I'd like that. And then once you kind of look at it, you're like, do I really? Right? But just allow any desire to come up. She's saying, don't push it around because it's going to come up and push you. If we suppress it, it's going to pop back up and slap us in the face. The best place for any desire is out in the open of your own mind, but not paraded before anyone else. If it is ugly, a good look at it will do more. If the desire is ugly, a good look at it will do more to cure us than all the preaching in the world. If it is beautiful, the same light that pitilessly exposed ugliness will reveal additional beauties, and we will be strengthened to live up to our ideals. That's so beautiful. Rule number 5, keep this list in your mind throughout the course, for we shall add something to it, take away others, frequently refer to it, and constantly study it. These lessons are to show you how to get anything you want. Therefore, this list of your wants is the order sheet we will work from. Rule number 6, don't keep wondering whether or not any of these wants will ever be realized. If you follow the rules laid down in these lessons, nothing under heaven can prevent your getting them. I believe this woman. I mean, she is, it's crazy. I'm always in this material, but like sometimes when you just come across someone with conviction, you're like, yeah, girl, I believe you. Do you listen? This is what she's saying. Because this is a step-by-step lesson. If you haven't read any of the previous or listened to the previous lessons, this is a long playlist. And so if you just listen, and they're short, listen to it day by day, or get the book and read it yourself. So don't keep wondering. Rule number 6, don't wonder whether or not these things will ever be realized. If you follow the rules laid down here in these lessons, nothing under heaven can prevent your getting them. Ooh, I believe her. Rule number 7, don't keep doubting yourself, nagging your teacher, or questioning the great law you are trying to operate. So it's like the metaphor of like, if you plant a seed, don't be digging it up to see if it's getting roots in it. Like you're going to kill it. Just have faith, have trust. Just suspend judgment. Suspend any judgment for the next 6 months. Just believe that it's possible. What if you just changed your mindset a little bit just for the next 6 months? For reasons I shall further explain to you in a few minutes, I do not, after promising you these things, fling all burden back on you with the alibi. You must first have implicit faith or nothing will come to you. I kind of just said that, but I like how she says this. She's saying, I'll explain later, but I'm not going to promise you all these things and then say, well, you must have implicit faith or nothing will come to you. That's most people's problem, but I like how she says this. How could a reasonable being be expected to have implicit faith in anything before it has produced results? See, we call this gaslighting in the personal development industry. When you have a goal and you're going after something and you start asking questions or you're like, I don't have the faith, people are like, oh, then you really must not want it. Like, just have faith. It's like, well, if I believed it could happen, it would already happen. How do I get that belief in myself? Like, but I like how she approaches this. She's saying, listen, Linda, there's another way to do this. You don't even have to believe it. Napoleon Hill says that. When you first get a goal down, You don't even have to believe it. Honestly, you just have to repeat it to yourself, and then that builds a belief. Just through repetition, you're giving orders to your subconscious mind. It doesn't matter if you believe it or not. If you repeat something to yourself long enough, you're going to start believing it, period. Like, that's just the machine of our brain, to be honest. So she says, how could a reasonable being be expected to have implicit faith in anything before it produces results? The law I am to teach you will work whether you believe in them or not. Ooh. Just as the sun will rise and set whether you believe it or not, for the same creator made both. Do not indulge in self-distrust or self-depreciation. Rule number 8. Do not interfere with your own progress by encouraging or listening to the apprehensions of skeptics. When you meet such a one, simply remember that if he had ever tried these laws himself, he would be defending instead of deriding them. And since he has not, he is, as they say in court, he's not a competent witness, for he does not know what he is talking about. That's usually when people poo-poo something or they go, oh, that doesn't work. Oh, it's like they don't even try it. They haven't even tried it themselves. Or like this cracks me up. Um, Mostly strangers, but some family members. Like if I'm traveling somewhere, or they'll be like, oh, you should blah, blah, blah. And they'll give me all this advice. It's like, have you even ever been there? Like I saw it on the news. Okay. Like when I have actually been there and experienced it. And of course, I know it's good intention. They're trying to help. But to be honest, like news and those types of things, they're all negative, like scare tactics, fearful things. And yes, they might be true, like pickpockets. Okay, yeah. Um, and I appreciate the protection and the caution, but you can only take so much of that stuff. You know what I mean? But I say all that to say many times, like even in my personal development journey, whether I signed up for a course or something, friends and colleagues would be like, well, I heard blah, 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 blah. It's like, it's hearsay. They haven't even done it and they're giving me advice when I've actually been doing it. So people are well intentioned, but are they really? I think it's just they don't even know. They're not good witnesses. They're not competent witnesses. They don't even know what they're talking about. And we just have to be honest with ourselves. I mean, I do the same thing, or I want to at times. I'm really good at that though. Through this work, I don't do that. I really don't. I don't. What a man is not up on, he is very likely to be down on. Isn't that true? So, what a person is not up on, he is very likely to be down on. So, if someone doesn't like something, oh God, you know what? I wrote a quote somewhere. Let me see. Where was it? It's right here. Don't you worry. Oh, this reminded me of this quote or this thought that came up. You don't have, okay. Okay. You don't, just because you're for something doesn't mean you have to be against something. Like, you don't have to be against something to be for something. Like, even though I'm for person A, doesn't mean I'm against person B. It just means I'm for person A. And unfortunately, that's not how it works. Like, have you ever been talking to someone and they're like, say you're ordering, this is a silly example, but there's like steak and then there's fish. And you go, oh my God, I'll take the steak. Like, you don't like fish? It's like, did I say I don't like fish? I'm just ordering the fucking steak. You know, when people think that like just because you're for something, you're against something, it's like, relax. Why are you so threatened? I just, this is what I want. It's like they take it so personal and they start like reading you, right? People make up the wildest opinions based on the decisions you make. And we think just because someone's for something that they're automatically against something. That's not the truth. It can be, but normally it's not. You just have preferences. We all have preferences. It's like if you prefer I don't know, like an electric car. Oh, you don't like gasoline cars? You think there's like global warming? It's like, oh please, like shut up. Maybe some people do think that, but not everybody thinks that. But it just shows where your mind is at, like what you believe. That's the truth. That's another good thing that I found on Instagram. It's like, I'm not who you think I am. You are who you think I am. Like, I am not who you think I am. I am, you are who you think I am, right? And that could be a good thing because if you think that I'm fabulous, that means that you're fabulous. That's the truth. It really is. It's like we see reflections of other people. And I won't even get into the human design of it, but my particular design is it mirrors people. It mirrors people. So I have always been just a big fat mirror to people. I just, it's a gift. It's always been. I'm a therapist, like just everywhere up in my design, in any personality test, it's like you're a good listener, you show people the truth, when people are in your energy, they see themselves, right? And of course, I have to make sure I do my work to keep myself clean. So I am a good mirror for other people. But I've gotten much feedback in my life that that is the case, especially when I've gotten older. But um, yeah, it's a gift of mine. I'm a good listener and I can show people themselves without even saying anything. It's kind of like, but we all do that on a certain level. It's like, when you're around someone and they know you and you're hiding something and you don't want to be around them because you know that they know that you're doing something sneaky. And then you blame them. You're like, what? They're like, I didn't say anything because you feel guilty inside, right? Um, anyways, that's a total side note. Alrighty. So do not allow your mind to dwell upon, oh, wait. Did we finish? Okay. So what a man is not up on, he is very likely down on, said Hubbard. Rule number 9, do not allow your mind to dwell upon, much less enlarge upon, the insurmountable obstacles you imagine lie between you and anything you now desire. So if an idea, a thought flashes in your mind like, oh my God, that's going to be so hard. It's such a big obstacle. She goes, don't dwell on it and don't make it bigger. Just don't even entertain those thoughts. Why would you do that? If you want it and you're going to go for it anyway, it doesn't matter what roadblocks get in your way. You're going to persist and you're going to do it. So yeah, do not make these insurmountable obstacles and feed the fear that you imagine lies between you and your desires. Rule number 10, whatever someone tells you as something or other is bound to do, that your chances are very slim, don't let it frighten you. So do not listen to naysayers or people who, again, I heard this and this and this, well, blah, 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 like just Debbie Downers, like, of course, be normal if they're saying something to be true, like a dangerous situation, heed the advice. But most of the time, people just be talking. They just want to put in their 2 cents or talk about the negative thing that they heard and say, "Oh, I just want the best for you." It's like, no, you don't. No, you don't. I always keep this sticky note here. I use it often in my therapeutic work when people talk about their family and well, anyways, when your family wants what's best for you, this is the truth. Um, when they say they want what's best for you, it's really they want what makes them feel safe. People, at the end of the day, truly, because we are incapable of being truly selfless, period. We are. We have an ego. We want to survive at the end of the day. What's best for someone we love usually is what makes us feel safe. So I really don't think you should move and take that job across the country. I just don't think it's good for you. When really deep down, we don't want to lose them. We don't want them to go, we're afraid. Oh my God, they're going to live alone, blah, 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 blah. It's like parents do this all the time with kids. And it's put out under the guise of protection or wisdom. And then the kid believes it. And you hold people back. Again, if there is true danger, listen to the loved one. But usually that's not the case. So I often find that what's best for you is really what makes them feel safe. And I do that too. Like I want my family to be safe. But then again, you gotta let people live their life. It's their life. We can't control people, right? All right, so don't let the naysayers frighten you. This is nothing but the cowardly, fearsome side of your own nature, the primitive, lazy animal side that doesn't want to be bothered. The same weak self that has ruined millions of good men and women by whispering each morning, oh, let's lie still. Why get up? What's the use? One more nap won't hurt anyone. Hitting snooze one more time. Um, One more tardy mark at the office won't do any harm. The same weak traitor that taunts you years later by saying, "You've wasted so many years now, you could never catch up." So it's like that voice in your head that says, "Oh my God, just relax. It's not going to make a difference. It's not a big deal. Just hit snooze. You can always go to the gym tomorrow." So that voice that tells you that will come and beat you up later and say, "You lazy crap. You can't even, you're never going to get ahead now." It's like the same voice that convinced you to stay in bed and be lazy is the same voice that's going to shit on you later for being lazy. It's like, it's such a mind F. This inert side of you is merely good for nothing. It doesn't want doesn't want to bestir itself, nor be bothered by the stirrings of your great self. But it is a false alarm and will lie down and behave when you show it you mean business. So it's like you're going to be the master of yourself. You're going to hear those voices, oh, hit snooze. You're going to be like, no, when I wake up, I get up. This is just what I do. Do it now. It has to run and ruined, it has run and ruined your life so far, so long, it forgets you are the rightful master and that whatever you say has got to go. You have spoiled it till this useless, worthless, whining, sniveling coward actually has the audacity to advise you. I love her. She's so funny. So basically, she's saying this inert side of you, it's merely good for nothing. It doesn't want you to improve yourself. It doesn't want you to be bothered being your best self. But it's a false alarm. It will lie down and behave once you show you it means business. Once you say, I'm the master now, I'm the captain now, I'm not going to hit snooze. Do I want to? Sure. Do I want to listen to you right now? Probably, but we're not. I'm the captain now. She says, it has run and ruined your life for so long, it forgets you are the rightful master and that whatever you say has got to go. You have spoiled it till this useless, worthless, whining, sniveling coward actually has the audacity to advise you. It's like, there's these terms of like you calling people your B word, like, oh, they're my bitch, whatever. It's like, or he's a tool. Guess what? So are we. We are little B words to that voice in our head. We're its bitch. We are a tool. It's using us. It's playing us and it's doing whatever the hell it wants with us. And we're just a straight up tool being used. Not to be our best selves, but to be our worst selves. Like that's what she's saying. It's the truth. So when these suggestions of weakness come from others, just remember the warning. It merely is merely a self-defense pretense from their weaker side too. Yeah. So when you get these suggestions from people like, just stay in, just have the other donut. Psh, that's never going to work out. It's merely a self-defense pretense from their weaker side, trying to bring you down and bring out your weaker side. There is only one thing that the weak side of man hates worse than stepping aside for his own strong self, and that is stepping aside for the strong selves of others. Ooh. So she says, there is only one thing that the weak side of ourselves hates worse than getting it together and getting mastered now by the strong part in us. But the weaker side of us hates it when someone else is being strong. It just pisses off the part of us. It's like, I've used this example before, but like, say you work in an office and everyone eats like crap and everyone's eating donuts and cakes and candy. And then you go on a diet and you have like your healthy food packed up and your broccoli and your healthy chicken. And you're sitting around the table and everyone's eating their fast food and you're just sitting there with your broccoli and everyone's looking at you like, oh, you're not eating with us anymore? Why are you, oh, are you on a diet? Mm-hmm. Like, oh, what are you eating? Aren't you hungry? Is that enough calories? Oh, I could never do that. I tried that. It's not sustainable. It's like they will just try to bring you down when you try to be better. When you try to be better, it will trigger the lower parts of other people. It'll trigger the lower parts of you too. And that's what she's saying. Just be weary of this. Yeah, it's like to be strong and to be disciplined and to be focused. It's like it threatens other people. It makes them look bad. Period. The world of weakness is in a grand old conspiracy against the world of strength, but it is all bluff and goes down and out in the first round when your true self really gets into the ring. So the world of weakness is in a grand old conspiracy against the world of strength, but it's a bluff. It's just a big illusion. And it goes down and out the first round when your true self really steps up and gets into the ring. It, as Napoleon Hill talks about, it's your other self. When you meet your other self, watch out, because we often drift. We are programmed to drift, not be the leaders of our life. Napoleon Hill talks about that in many of his books, but Outwitting the Devil. Are you a drifter or are you a leader? You're one or the other. You're either drifting into mediocrity and just bumbling around doing whatever, no goals, or you're leading your life. You're going somewhere. You're achieving goals. You're like your eyes on a prize. One or the other. So when you're drifting and you meet your other self, as Elsie Lincoln Benedict is saying, ooh, you get activated the leader within, the strength, the power within. And all the drifters don't like it. And they'll hate on you. They'll troll you. All that stuff. All right. So we'll continue with rule number 11 with this tomorrow. This is really lovely. Thank you so much. Share this with anybody that you think would enjoy it. Also, if you want to work with me or read all of the programs, we actually have, if you are watching this before February 1st and you are into Napoleon Hill, or you love personal development, or you like any of my teachings, be sure to sign up for the mentorship program. If you have any questions, reach out. All of the information is below in my YouTube description box. So again, if you're watching this anywhere else, hop on over to YouTube, and underneath this video is the description with all of the information, and all of my videos, the description to work with me one-on-one or get into the mentorship program. Ask me any questions. And yeah, we have a special, that's what I was saying. If you were watching this before February 1st, we have the inaugural price of the mentorship program. It's an 8-month program. You don't want to miss out. Prices are going up February 1st. So if you're interested, let me know. What else? I'm going to be doing a video about the mentorship program this weekend. Let's see. I don't know if I'll do it live. Maybe I'll record it and post it. But it's going to be an in-depth look at the mentorship program, what we do, what it's all about. If you're interested in that, be sure to watch that. What else? It's my sister's birthday today. Happy birthday. I was just at her house. I gave her a balloon and a little something something. I still need to get her a gift, but she hasn't told me what she wanted. But I said I'd share a picture. This is my sister. Look, I'm wearing something similar with red lipstick too, but that is my sister. I love her so much. Yeah, she's 3 years older than me. And yeah, I'm just so grateful. Again, she is my biggest cheerleader, and I'm so grateful to have her as my sister, and I love her. And I can't wait to travel the world with her. So get it together, girl. All right, I hope you have a beautiful evening, and I will see you tomorrow for video number, is it 38? Y'all, we're getting up there. This is going to be an